the phones have already started ringing. Across the country, families are opening their benefit apps, checking balances, and seeing messages that are creating confusion, panic, and fear. For millions of Americans depending on SNAP EBT to keep food on the table, April 16th has suddenly become a date nobody can ignore. Rumors are spreading fast: benefits ending, cards being shut off, accounts under review, emergency allotments disappearing, eligibility being cut without warning. Some people are hearing they may lose access entirely, while others are finding out their monthly amounts are dropping with little explanation. Grocery carts are being abandoned in checkout lines because balances are lower than expected. Parents are trying to figure out whether they can still afford milk, bread, eggs, and basic meals for their children next week. Seniors living on fixed incomes are being hit with the same terrifying question: will their food support still be there tomorrow? What's happening right now is not just another policy update buried in paperwork. This is affecting real households in real time, and many people still have no idea whether they are on the list of those impacted. If you receive SNAP EBT, or someone in your family does, this is the moment to pay attention, because what changes on April 16th could directly affect your next grocery trip, your monthly budget, and your ability to buy essentials. Millions of SNAP recipients are now facing a wave of uncertainty as new administrative changes, state-level redeterminations, eligibility reviews, and benefit recalculations begin taking effect. The biggest source of confusion is the phrase many people are hearing online: SNAP EBT is ending. That statement is misleading, but the danger behind it is real enough to demand immediate attention. SNAP as a federal program is not disappearing nationwide, but for many households, benefits can stop, shrink, or be suspended starting April 16th if required actions have not been completed. In several states, agencies are resuming stricter eligibility verification processes that had been delayed or softened during pandemic-era protections and temporary relief periods. Those protections gave many families uninterrupted access, but now reviews are accelerating, and missed paperwork can trigger immediate closure. A large number of households have recently received renewal notices by mail, email, or through state portals and have overlooked them completely. Some were mistaken for junk mail. Others arrived with deadlines buried in fine print. If a recertification form is not completed, benefits may automatically stop even if the household still qualifies. This is where the shock is hitting hardest. Families who assumed their cards would reload as usual are waking up to empty balances because the system marked their case incomplete. No warning at checkout. No grace period at the register. Just a declined transaction and confusion in front of a cashier line. Another major factor driving alarm is the recalculation of income thresholds. Households that had temporary approval under expanded rules may now be reassessed under tighter income standards. Even a small increase in wages, overtime hours, or reported household income can reduce benefit levels or eliminate eligibility altogether. For workers already struggling with inflation, that creates a painful contradiction. Earning slightly more can still leave them unable to afford groceries while disqualifying them from food assistance. This benefits cliff is leaving many households trapped between low wages and reduced support. April 16th is especially critical because several states are syncing their system updates with mid-month processing cycles. That means accounts flagged for non-compliance, missing documents, or unresolved identity verification may be paused beginning on that date. In some cases, recipients must submit proof of residency, updated pay stubs, rent documentation, or household composition changes before benefits are restored. If those documents are delayed, the interruption can last weeks. For families living paycheck to paycheck, even one missed month of food assistance can create immediate hunger risks. There is also growing concern over fraud prevention crackdowns. States have increased anti-fraud screening after a rise in EBT theft, card skimming, and suspicious transaction reports. While protecting the system is necessary, legitimate recipients are sometimes caught in automated review holds. Accounts may be frozen temporarily if unusual purchase patterns are detected, identity mismatches occur, or duplicate address records trigger flags. Many recipients do not realize their case is under review until their benefits fail to load. Customer service lines are already overwhelmed, making it difficult to resolve issues quickly. For elderly recipients and disabled beneficiaries, the situation is becoming even more stressful. Many rely on mailed notices rather than online portals, and delays in postal delivery are causing missed deadlines. Some seniors are discovering too late that they needed to respond to verification requests days earlier. Others are being asked to provide updated medical expense documentation to maintain deduction calculations that affect benefit amounts. Missing those details can lower monthly support significantly. Parents with children in households that receive both SNAP and school meal assistance are also being affected by overlapping changes. Some are mistakenly assuming school-related food benefits guarantee continued SNAP eligibility, but these are separate systems. Losing SNAP can happen even if a child remains eligible for reduced or free school meals. This misunderstanding is leading some families to ignore urgent notices until it is too late. Another hidden issue is address changes. If a recipient moved recently and failed to update their address with the SNAP office, important recertification documents may have gone to the wrong location. State agencies often consider mailed notice sufficient legal notification, even if the recipient never physically receives it. That means a case can close simply because paperwork was sent to an outdated apartment number. For those hearing rumors that everyone will lose SNAP on April 16, that is false. Not every recipient is affected. Many households will continue receiving benefits normally. But the danger lies in assuming you are safe without checking. Anyone receiving SNAP should log into their state benefits portal immediately, verify case status, review notices, and confirm whether recertification deadlines are pending. If your balance seems lower than expected this month, do not assume it is a system glitch. Reduced allotments may reflect recalculated eligibility or expired temporary supplements. Households that recently started new jobs should pay close attention. Income reporting delays can create overpayment problems later. If earnings changed and were not reported on time, states may reduce future benefits or demand repayment. That can result in sudden deductions from monthly allotments, making already tight food budgets even tighter. Transparency now can prevent harsher penalties later. Immigrant mixed status families are also facing confusion due to fear and misinformation. Some legally eligible household members may still qualify even if not everyone in the home has the same status. Unfortunately, fear is causing some families to withdraw voluntarily from assistance they are legally entitled to receive. Advocacy groups are urging recipients to seek accurate case guidance rather than relying on rumors spreading across social media. Retailers are preparing for increased tension at checkout counters as these changes unfold. Grocery stores in high SNAP areas are already reporting more declined transactions and frustrated customers. Clerks are being forced into difficult conversations with families who believed their benefits were available. Food banks are bracing for increased demand as households experiencing sudden interruptions seek emergency supplies to bridge the gap. If benefits stop on April 16, that does not always mean permanent disqualification. In many cases, submitting overdue documents can reopen a case. Some states allow expedited reinstatement if paperwork is completed within a limited window after closure. But timing matters. Waiting too long may require starting a new application from scratch, causing longer delays and deeper hardship. The most urgent action right now is simple but critical: check your SNAP account today, not later. Confirm your renewal date. Read every notice in your portal inbox. Verify mailing address, phone number, and income records are current. If your state requires interviews for recertification, make sure no scheduled call was missed. Many closures happen because recipients fail to answer interview calls from unfamiliar government numbers. Community aid organizations are urging recipients not to panic but to act quickly. Panic creates paralysis, action creates options. If you know neighbors, relatives, or elderly family members on SNAP, tell them to check their status too. Many vulnerable recipients are unaware these deadlines are approaching and may not understand how to navigate online systems without help. The April 16 wave is exposing a larger national issue: millions of Americans remain one administrative disruption away from food insecurity. A missed envelope, delayed phone call, or forgotten form can instantly cut off access to essential nutrition support. That fragility is what makes this moment so alarming. This is not merely paperwork. It is dinner on the table, breakfast for children, medication-compatible meals for seniors, and survival for households already stretched beyond capacity. As the deadline hits, misinformation will keep spreading. Some headlines will exaggerate total shutdowns. Others will downplay the seriousness. The truth sits in the middle: SNAP is not universally ending, but millions absolutely could lose benefits if their cases are flagged, incomplete, or newly ineligible under updated reviews. That makes this one of the most important weeks for recipients to stay alert. The people hit first are often the ones least equipped to recover quickly: single parents, seniors alone, disabled adults, hourly workers with unstable shifts. For them, a delayed benefit is not an inconvenience. It is skipped meals, empty refrigerators, and impossible choices between groceries and rent. That is why checking now matters more than waiting until your next shopping trip reveals the problem too late. April 16th is not just another date on the calendar for SNAP households. It is a checkpoint. For some, nothing changes. For others, it could be the day support disappears unless immediate action is taken. The difference may come down to whether one notice was opened, one form was submitted, or one phone call was answered in time. If SNAP helps feed your household, this is the moment to make sure your benefits are protected before that next balance check becomes a shock you were never prepared to face. What is unfolding around April 16th is bigger than a policy deadline or an administrative update. It is exposing how fragile the safety net has become for millions of families who rely on SNAP EBT every single month just to maintain basic food security. For households already balancing rent, utilities, transportation, medical bills, and rising grocery costs, even a temporary disruption in benefits can create immediate crisis. The reason this moment feels so alarming is because SNAP is not extra money for luxury spending. For most recipients, it is the difference between eating regularly and going without. That is why every rumor, every warning, and every sudden headline about benefits ending spreads so quickly. Fear travels fast when survival is involved. Parents panic because they know a missing benefit deposit can mean empty lunchboxes before the week is over. Seniors panic because many of them live on fixed incomes that leave no room for unexpected shortfalls. Disabled recipients panic because they may not have transportation or physical ability to make repeated office visits if paperwork problems arise. For low-income workers, one delayed SNAP payment can destroy an entire month's fragile financial balance. The most dangerous mistake right now is assuming this warning applies only to someone else. Many people who lose benefits are still technically eligible but miss deadlines, overlook notices, or fail to complete routine recertifications on time. That is what makes this situation so devastating. Families are not always losing support because they no longer qualify. In many cases, they lose access because of missed administrative steps buried inside complicated systems that are hard to navigate. A mailed notice sent to an old address, an email that lands in spam, a missed interview call during work hours, or a confusing online portal message can all trigger the same result: benefits stopped without warning. What makes this even more serious is the growing pressure on local support systems. Food banks, churches, mutual aid groups, and emergency pantries are already stretched thin in many communities. If even a fraction of affected SNAP recipients suddenly lose access at once, those backup systems will face overwhelming demand. Shelves that are already limited could empty faster. Volunteers who are already exhausted could be forced to turn people away. When government assistance is interrupted on a large scale, the pressure does not disappear, it simply shifts onto local charities that often lack the funding to absorb it. Another painful reality is that many recipients feel shame when their cards fail at checkout. That humiliation happens silently every day. A declined EBT card in a grocery line is not just a transaction error. It is a public moment of fear, embarrassment, and helplessness. Parents standing with children at registers are forced to put food back item by item. Elderly recipients may not understand why their balance is missing and are left confused in front of strangers. These moments are deeply human and deeply painful, and they rarely appear in official reports or policy discussions. This is why awareness matters now more than ever. Every SNAP recipient needs to understand that staying informed is no longer optional. Checking your account regularly, reading notices carefully, updating your contact details, and responding quickly to verification requests are now essential survival steps. Waiting until your next grocery trip to discover a problem could mean days or weeks of delay before benefits are restored. In many states, once a case closes, reopening it is far more complicated than preventing interruption in the first place. For families already hearing rumors on social media, the best defense is accurate information. False claims spread quickly, especially when fear is high. Some posts exaggerate by claiming the entire SNAP program is ending nationwide, which is not true. Others dismiss all concerns as misinformation, which is equally dangerous because real households are absolutely facing benefit losses tied to reviews, redeterminations, and paperwork lapses. The truth is serious enough without exaggeration. SNAP itself is not disappearing, but millions are vulnerable to losing access if they do not act in time. This moment also raises deeper questions about the structure of public assistance in America. A system designed to prevent hunger should not be so easy to lose because of missed paperwork technicalities. A family that still qualifies for food support should not face empty refrigerators because a letter arrived late or a website portal malfunctioned. Administrative efficiency should never come at the cost of human survival. Yet for many recipients, that is exactly what is happening. Eligibility exists on paper, but access disappears through bureaucratic failure. The people most affected are often those with the fewest resources to fight back. A middle-income household facing paperwork confusion can spend hours on hold, hire legal help, or absorb temporary grocery costs. Low-income families often cannot. They may lack internet access, reliable phones, transportation, child care, or time off work to resolve issues. Calling overwhelmed benefit hotlines may require hours they cannot spare. Visiting county offices may require bus fares they cannot afford. These barriers turn simple administrative corrections into impossible burdens. For communities, this is also a reminder that neighbors matter. If you know someone elderly, disabled, isolated, or overwhelmed who depends on SNAP, checking in with them could make all the difference. A reminder to review mail, help navigating an online portal, or assistance gathering documents could prevent someone from losing food support they desperately need. Many people miss deadlines not because they are careless, but because the system assumes a level of digital literacy, mobility, and organization that not everyone has. There is also an emotional toll that often goes unseen. Living under constant uncertainty about food assistance creates chronic stress. Recipients are forced into a cycle of fear every time policy changes are announced. They monitor balances anxiously, worry over every envelope in the mail, and brace themselves each month for unexpected cuts. That psychological strain affects mental health, parenting, work performance, and physical well-being. Hunger is not the only cost of instability, fear itself becomes a daily burden. April 16th will pass, but the larger issue will remain. Some households will discover no change at all. Others will wake up to reduced balances or interrupted benefits and enter immediate crisis mode. For those affected, speed matters. Contacting caseworkers quickly, submitting missing documents immediately, and seeking emergency food resources can reduce the damage. Delays only deepen hardship. Even if benefits stop, recipients should not assume the loss is permanent until they verify the reason directly with their state agency. In the days ahead, what matters most is vigilance. Check accounts. Read notices. Confirm your case status. Do not trust rumors over official messages. Do not ignore unexplained balance changes. Do not assume silence means safety. The households that protect their benefits are often simply the ones who respond first. At its core, this is not just a story about policy changes. It is about survival in ordinary kitchens across America. It is about refrigerators that may go empty because a system designed to help became too complex to navigate safely. It is about children whose meals depend on adults catching deadlines buried in bureaucracy. It is about seniors choosing between medication and groceries if support disappears unexpectedly. And it is about millions of people living so close to the edge that one interrupted deposit can send everything into collapse. That is why this warning cannot be ignored. If SNAP supports your household, or someone you love depends on it, now is the time to act before confusion turns into crisis. Because once the benefit is gone, the consequences arrive faster than most families can recover from, and by then, the checkout line may be the first place they discover the truth. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is becoming painfully clear: for millions of families, SNAP EBT is not just another government program sitting in the background of daily life. It is one of the last barriers standing between stability and hunger. When people hear that benefits may stop, shrink, or suddenly disappear, the fear is immediate because the consequences are immediate. There is no buffer period for families already living paycheck to paycheck. There is no backup savings account for many seniors living on fixed incomes. There is no cushion for parents already stretching every dollar to make sure children are fed before the month ends. That is why this moment deserves attention far beyond headlines and rumors. What happens after April 16th will not only be measured in numbers on government reports. It will be felt in homes where refrigerators are suddenly emptier, in grocery stores where cards decline unexpectedly, and in food pantries where lines may begin growing longer overnight. Behind every interrupted benefit is a real household forced into impossible choices that no family should have to make. For anyone watching this and depending on SNAP, the message is urgent but simple: do not wait for a problem to reveal itself at the register. Check your account before your next grocery trip. Read every notice from your state agency carefully. Make sure your address, phone number, and income information are updated. If you have been asked for documents, submit them immediately. If you missed a call or interview request, follow up now rather than later. In many cases, the difference between uninterrupted benefits and sudden loss comes down to timing. And if your benefits are reduced or stopped, do not assume it is the end of the road. Many cases can be corrected. Missing paperwork can often be submitted late. Reviews can be appealed. Suspended cases can sometimes be reopened quickly if action is taken fast enough. The worst thing any recipient can do right now is ignore warning signs and hope the issue fixes itself automatically. Silence from the system does not always mean safety. For those who are not SNAP recipients but know someone who is, this is also the time to check on family members, neighbors, and vulnerable people in your community. Seniors may not understand digital notices. Disabled recipients may need help navigating online systems. Parents overwhelmed by work and childcare may overlook urgent deadlines buried in mail. A simple conversation or reminder could protect someone from losing critical food support. The larger truth behind this moment is unsettling: millions of Americans remain only one administrative disruption away from food insecurity. That reality should concern everyone, whether they use SNAP or not. A missed letter should not mean missed meals. A delayed document should not mean a child goes hungry. Yet that is the fragile system many families are trapped inside right now, and April 16th is exposing just how vulnerable that system has become. Southwest, as we close, remember this: SNAP is not universally ending, but the risk to individual households is very real. Rumors may exaggerate, but the threat of interrupted benefits is serious enough to demand immediate action. If you rely on SNAP, treat this week as critical. Protect your case, verify your status, and respond to every notice. If your household depends on these benefits, being proactive today could prevent a crisis tomorrow. Stay alert, stay informed, and most importantly, do not assume you have time to wait. For many families, the next balance check may determine far more than what goes into a grocery cart. It may determine whether there is food on the table at all.